Every time I open the news, apparently our generation has committed another crime, like literally every single time.
Bro, one day we're too lazy, the next we're too sensitive, and then we're too loud, and somehow we're also too quiet. Like, bro, pick one.
And after everything that has happened recently, especially with the student protest, it feels like everyone suddenly has an opinion about the Gen Zs.
Which got us thinking, are people actually judging our actions or have they already decided who we are before even listening to us? So we thought, why not let Gen Z speak for itself? Not because, and because the three of us are going to be yapping for the next hour would have probably caused mass employment, we invited two more people. They're genuinely one of the most easiest people to have conversations with. They always have something interesting to say, and thankfully, they agreed to join us. So, welcome, Parini and Shanvi.
Hi
Hi
guys.
guys, thank you for having us.
We are
Yeah.
so glad to have you with us, and we are looking forward to a very lovely Gap session.
Yes.
For sure.
Real.
Okay, so the first question. When you hear the words Gen Z, what's the first thing that comes to your mind?
Definitely persistence.
I agree.
Yeah, so for me, I feel like when I think of the word Gen Z, I think of the people that are probably going to break the stereotypes and make the world a better place and, lessen all the judgment and all.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. I definitely agree to that because I feel like Gen Z is one of the first generations to be breaking all the stereotypes and, stop doing, and they're actually the ones who are not doing the things that millennials carry forward. And, we're trying to break the cycle. So, yeah, I feel like a word that I would say is definitely grinding and like being consistent because I feel like people, our
Hmm.
generation, are really locked in towards what they want to build for their own selves and they're really focusing on their own lives. They've stopped caring about other people, and I feel like everyone's really focused on building themselves and creating a life for themselves at max.
I feel like we could
Yeah.
also call our generation iconic as well because, like, we're the first generation, grew up with the internet in our hands. So we've seen technology every year of our lives. And can I also say just one thing that at least we don't say in every single conversation, back in my day, I used to do all of this. We don't
Yeah.
Back
say
in my day.
Seriously.
What? Okay, so now that we've spoken about all of these stereotypes, so we know that Gen Z has a lot of stereotypes placed on us as well. So, what's one stereotype about Gen Z that annoys you the most whenever someone brings it up?
Like they don't have proper work ethic. Like,
yeah.
excuse me, the fact
Fact.
that somebody does not want to work probably after their 9 to 5 and they are not wanting to respond to their bosses or managers' emails on a freaking Sunday evening does not give them a lack of work ethic. People
Oh,
have really blurred the lines, like millennials had given so much of themselves into their work, into their office. Like, I'm not blaming them for the way they were raised, but the thing is, the line between actually having a personal life versus a work life is really blurred. And now, when Gen Zs are stepping forward and creating that boundary, people need to understand that it needs to be made. And it's not like lack of a work ethic.
exactly.
Yeah.
I also feel like we've been called lazy, like for no reason, and
Yes,
we will
so
glued
much.
to our
We
phones
have.
So
and think for
much.
ourselves. We have attention span of a goldfish, blah blah blah. Like I'm on my phone, yeah, but I'm also editing podcasts on it. I'm networking, I'm emailing people, I'm learning things. Like people just see the screen, they don't see what's happening on it.
Yeah, they don't realize
Hmm.
that, like, this is how life goes on right now. This is how, like, we work. This is how we have to
Exactly.
stuff.
And as
Yeah, and also for me, I feel like the fact that we are called fragile or like, you know, badtameez as they say, I feel like just because we are the type of generation who has decided to break all the stereotypes and prioritize ourselves and our mental well-being over anyone else's, we are called fragile sometimes. And I feel so proud to say this, but we are the first generation who has brought spotlight on so many mental health issues that
exactly.
people struggle with. But everyone chooses to ignore that and they just like to call us fragile and weak, which really does anger me sometimes.
Yeah. For me, I think I'll agree with Shani also. Like a lot of people have this perception that Gen Zs are really disrespectful. They don't know how to give respect. But the thing is, respect is earned. rather than
Yes.
demand it. And
Exactly.
Clock it.
the thing is, the previous generations, they never, like doubted whatever, their parents told. They just blindly listened to it.
Yeah.
And just because we are like, asking them, why should we do this? They are just calling it disrespectful. And it's like kind of really annoying.
Yes,
Exactly.
definitely. And you know, the fact that respect always and always goes both ways, right?
Yes,
You
that's the
cannot
exact
you
thing.
cannot demand, you cannot beg for respect, like, oh my god, respect me. Like,
Yeah.
like people are just,
Like, why would you do that?
Exactly.
If you
Like, you're
can't
not.
beg for respect, that's not respect. Then you're
Yeah,
just
like if
like,
you're an elder,
exactly.
fine, you get respect, but you don't have to beg for that respect from youngsters. Like, oh my God, please respect they though. Like you will earn that.
हाँ
That is
वही
that is just petty.
I know.
I
And
feel like
the
Gen Z were like a lot more informed about things, so that's why we tend to
hmm,
question them. And the
Yeah,
previous
Yes.
yeah,
generations, like they did not have this like knowledge that we have with the internet and everything. They did not know all of this at like a young age. They weren't like taught to question everything from like their childhood. They were just taught to like just listen to whatever the elders say and you'll be fine. And I feel like
Yes.
Gen Z don't have that mindset, and then people just get very intimidated that
and they
we just don't
underestimate
listen.
us.
exactly.
Exactly.
And I think the old people, they're just used to, people just like respecting them blindly. Like, okay,
Yeah,
I respect all of everyone, no matter the age. But then if I'm getting disrespected by someone for no reason, just because I'm younger than them, it does not make sense. Like, I'm not gonna like listen to them and like stay like quiet.
exactly.
Exactly.
Adding
Okay,
up to
so
actually like what Parini said, I feel like some basic respect should be
Hmm.
given to everyone, like the basic respect. If someone is older than you, you cannot address them in a rude manner, like from the beginning, if they've not said anything disrespectful to you first. Like the basic respect should be given, and if someone is not giving, then they are wrong. But I don't feel like anyone in our generation has done that yet, but we are still
Hmm.
known as disrespectful, which is so wrong.
Yeah.
okay,
Yes,
so
definitely agree.
okay, so why do you think us Gen Zs are more comfortable with questioning authority than our previous generations?
Because the thing is that as we grew up and we got so many resources in our lives, right? We got the internet, we got a lot of exposure, we got a lot more exposure compared to the previous generation. And after we
Hmm.
did gain a lot of knowledge externally and like finding it out from the internet, researching, we started to understand that there is a lot more knowledge, there's a lot more opinions, there's a lot of different perspectives that could be offered instead of the only one that's being offered to you by your specific family or your elders or whatever, right? So we generally started to gain the amount of knowledge, and now that we are surrounded with so much social media around us, we are exposed to so much content, right, that we end up sparking a question, either out of curiosity, either out of just wonderment, and we want to ask a question instead of just following blindly what's being told, because we see that there are so many different paths, and there's not one linear path that you actually have to stick to, and there is so much that you can actually explore and do around, which is why I personally feel that Gen Z's are not afraid to question people, and they want to ask people things more and more, because they do know that this is not the only limited point of view.
See,
Yeah.
absolutely. I
True,
also think
totally
that we
agree.
also speak about the right things as well, like we're speaking
Hmm.
about mental health, we're speaking about education, women's rights, climate change, and also social issues. And when people nowadays come on social media and say, oh, why are Gen Z people always talking about problems? Like, because someone has to, right? Like,
Exactly. If
Exactly.
we're just
like,
gonna ignore
yeah.
them and turn a blind eye on it, doesn't mean that they're
Yeah,
gonna
and I
like
think something funny
fix.
about also our generation is that we go on Instagram and we scroll and we just like half of our therapy just comes from Instagram reels. Like we'll just watch one
So
reel,
true.
right? And we'll be like, oh my God, that's me, that's us. That's how I feel right now. That's what we're
The
just
Yeah,
scrolling.
relatability
relatability.
aspect that's
We
there.
all get each other like on a random platform.
Yes.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Exactly. Like we're all so different, but we still somehow understand each other.
Yeah, it's all the
Yeah.
relatability factor, just like people agreeing to each other and
That's
feeling
what I
what.
got.
Hmm.
Okay, so we've seen students. organize protests, especially around like the NEET exam controversy that happened right now, the CJP protests, and even before that, the Bangladesh protests that were going on. So Gen Z has been very politically involved, and we're known to like demand accountability. So do you think that student voices are finally starting to matter right now?
Definitely. And I am very happy that all these protests have happened because we as a generation have been taken so lightly by everyone that, we got called cockroaches, like literally. So I don't really have
Yeah.
to say
Okay,
anything.
I
But
have a
now,
question, guys. Do you all support CJP?
Yeah,
Yes.
obviously,
Yes.
obviously.
I mean,
I mean,
Okay.
see, the thing is, to most extent, like the moment, like all the protest was like carried out by them, right? They were the main organization who was driving it. So I do support that. But other than that, there have been like a few controversial things said by them, which I'm not really in favor of. And like
Hmm.
some of the things at the protests that were happening were misleading, and they were not
yeah.
directed
Yeah,
towards the
definitely.
protest, and they were moving towards another side of it, which wasn't the main aim of it
True.
as well. So those are the few
Hmm.
things that I wouldn't support, but I'm definitely in support of the movement that actually took place in
Yeah.
India, and like
Yeah,
how they
exactly.
planned it out and how the CJP was the one leading it is what I
My opinion is
stand
that
for.
if you give me like parties to choose from and I need to like really choose one, then I'm going to choose CJP because they're going for the
Yeah.
right cause. At
I mean,
least
it's
they
not
did
like we
something.
At least our voice would matter there.
At least it was,
Like,
yeah,
Yeah.
there was a revolution. At least the president, the minister of education, at least he got resigned. So at least we did something there. Okay.
yeah.
And
They
now
did
Yeah.
now
something.
we
I mean, not that there's like an amazing choice for us to pick from,
Yeah, we know
but if
that, but
we had
still,
to pick one, if we had
something
to pick one
happened.
For
part,
me, I would say that I'm not fully in support of CJP. Like just because we were called cockroaches doesn't mean we actually are. But I definitely support all the protesting they are doing because
I
it's
mean, yeah, and
definitely iconic.
yeah.
That's
No, I agree to the thing that you just mentioned because like one of the main identity that CJP was forming was like Gen Z's unemployed, Gen Z's lazy,
Hmm.
yeah,
and like they're doom
Yeah.
scrollers. So even if you check out their website, I feel like they've really made the entire propaganda basically around
well,
how
the
Gen
thing
Z's are
is,
very. But the
it
no
was
no
a meme.
Amelia,
So
it was a meme, but like you cannot entirely target it as like a mass thing, right? And that is
yeah,
not like the even if like we were called cockroaches, but that doesn't mean you have to like keep
exactly,
that
you can't
identity,
keep
right? You
reinforcing
want
that.
exactly. So I feel like the whole thing of like being lazy and like being unemployed and like not working and all of that was like really created it really made an identity around like every the way they pitched. But like yeah, that's what
but
I
I
would
think
say.
at the
yeah.
end of the
But I
day,
think
yeah, go.
whatever it was needed because
Yeah.
now that we will have a new education minister, I am pretty sure that dude will be very like
Shaanvi.
careful.
Yeah, well,
Nuh-uh.
No,
The
no, let's
person,
not talk about
the
this. Let's
person,
not talk about
the
this.
person that is just we've gotten.
Okay, anyways, but I
Like
think
dude.
at the end of the day, we have underestimated ourselves more. Like, we have so much power. If we all students just go somewhere and unite, there's a lot, of course, a revolution, of course.
Exactly, it's
But
gonna
guys, the
happen.
question over here is, would you guys also go and protest?
yes, I would.
Yes,
Honestly, yeah.
Me too. Me
I
too.
also would.
Man, I'm getting FOMO, like genuinely. Like, because
Exactly.
something might be going on
Same.
there.
See the thing is that just like yeah, even like like being a part of the protest is such like you are able to contribute to your country and like make a huge impact. But yeah, the only thing I was afraid of after looking at everything that was happening at the Delhi protest was how people were injured. Okay, they were really
Yeah.
injured
Those
and they were
policemen,
beaten
oh
up,
my
and
God, I'm pissed at
and
them.
and all of that was really making me concerned for the people who are there
It
and for
was
their own safety
unnecessary, to be
and
honest.
and for their own families as well, right? All of those families and like all of those people went ahead because they wanted to do something for the nation, they wanted to do something for the country. Instead, so many of them got detained, got beaten up, got injured really really badly, and that is something that I was like super
I feel like
concerned when I
that's the
saw about
bitter
it.
reality of India, and we have to accept it.
Yeah,
Definitely.
That's how our government is at this point.
You know, the way they were like legit kids of 2, 3 years old with their
Exactly.
parents, and they have to
yeah.
see all this.
Exactly. But I feel like I'm still getting FOMO. I would go anyways.
Yeah.
As long I swear, as long as it was like peaceful up until the moment people would
You would
Yeah,
actually
take
even
know
all of
that.
the
I
same.
would go. If it was not as brutal as it became, I would have gone. Like,
Exactly.
you
I
would
Yeah,
see me there.
see, yeah, no, see, Shanu, the thing is that both of us, obviously being in Delhi, right,
Yeah,
and being like the voices of the country and being like the student voices nowadays. But yeah, as long as if only it had only stayed a peaceful protest, if only it had been that way, and if only it hadn't gotten to the extreme level that it went to, a lot of our
Mhm.
parents would be more, like comfortable sending
Yeah,
us
they'll
as well.
encourage you all to go.
Okay, guys, now what do you think? Are we lazy or are we redefining success? What do you think about the work-life balance which is going on between us Gen Z? What
Yes.
is success? What does success mean to you? Like as a Gen Z now, with people underestimating us, and saying, "Oh, you guys are really lazy. You're always stuck on your phone." What does success mean to you now? Being away from the phone or actually doing something?
Okay, but the thing
Okay.
is, right now, actually, no, Perini, I'm right. You go ahead.
Okay, so for me, I won't deny that we are lazy, but then I won't say we are completely lazy. For me, being lazy is like if I'm really overstimulated, then I'll just end up, like scrolling on Instagram for an hour or something. But
Mhm.
then that is just my way of like coping from the overstimulation. But then
Okay.
for me, I would say success right now, to being in 10th grade is like obviously getting good marks in the boards.
Yeah.
And in the future, of course, I want to be a chartered accountant. So for me, being that is like really like amazing.
In
Yeah,
I
no,
like
see,
success is defined on something which is in the present, like boards के बारे में. Not like, कि I want to become a millionaire, I want to do this, I want to do that. Present.
yeah, see, to the question Zahra asked, I feel like I definitely say that, when you asked about whether us being on our phones is like productive, not productive, or whatever. See, the thing is, it at the end of the day, it all matters of what you're doing. Somebody could actually be doing something really useful on their phone, whereas somebody could be scrolling. But I definitely do agree to Parni's point, as she mentioned, right? That if she's stressed about something, if she's stimulated, she wants to take a break, she wants to divert her mind from it, or maybe she
Exactly.
just wants to do something, she's gonna sit and consume content. She wants to watch it and she's going to do that. So I definitely agree to the point that, if you want to, sure thing, we just like watch whatever we want. And yeah, like I feel like success is something that just like obviously cannot be fully defined, as in our other previous
Mhm.
episode we talked about it with Charlotte. So that basically captures what all of us thought about it on it as well.
Okay, yeah, and also like I feel like the majority of the work that we have to do right now, like if it's studying or working on anything else, you have to do it in front of a screen. Especially for us because we
Yeah,
don't go to like a physical school, right? We do online school.
yeah,
So all of
definitely.
our work is again on screens. So you can't just say, "Oh my God, you're on your screen." That means you're just procrastinating because that's how we do work.
Exactly. But I also think that older generations, like our parents also nowadays, they have normalized working themselves to exhaustion. Like when they're tired, that's only when they're gonna stop.
Mhm.
And we've watched that happen. So why would we want to copy something that clearly made so many people like uncomfortable and unhappy? Like why
Exactly.
would you
yeah,
destroy
true.
yourself?
And
Okay, so
also,
confidence. Okay,
like, I feel like just taking a break and or scrolling on your phone is not like you cannot consider it being lazy. I feel like we just know the perfect balance. We know when we're tired, we know when we want to study, and sometimes when you're on your phone or laptop, and if you're not studying, you're doing something else, you're scrolling on YouTube, Instagram. So many of us are not actually watching content that is like funny or
Yeah,
anything.
I
We're
was.
watching things to motivate us to do better or to study again,
Mhm.
like, so. But just because once they see us on the screen, they're like, oh, they're not studying, they're doing something
Oh
else.
yeah, she's just, yeah, the brain rot content.
Yeah,
Another question now, also for us as Gen Z. I mean, it's a would you rather basically, but would you choose a high paying job or a dream job? Like,
a
would you?
dream job,
Okay,
Dream
why?
job.
Why, Shami?
because my dream job is high paying.
I mean, that makes sense. But like, what if there was like a high paying job which you like really just did not like, but it's high paying, but there's like a job which is like, not paying you that well, but it really fuels you, it's like your passion. What
Even Yeah, even in that, I'd still pick my dream job because, okay, we as a generation talk about, our mental peace, being happy and all. I cannot be happy. I just don't want to make money. Like, that is not the only motive of me living. That I want to make money or I want to spend it. I want to buy this. Or I want to be happy. I want to be mentally okay. I don't want a job in which I'm like working till 3 a.m., 2 a.m. without rest. I want my peace. I want to be happy. I want to be like well mentally and still earn money.
W.
Yeah.
Amelia, what about you, Amelia?
I choose the high paying job because, see here, you're gonna earn money, and then once you earn like a
Wanna be
specific
happy?
amount of money, you're gonna like, you
Mm.
can just quit the job, be with the money, and do what
Yeah.
you want. So,
Wow. Amazing.
it's just a tiny sacrifice for like a long term gain for me. That's what I would do.
What about you, Parini?
So first of all, I don't see myself doing a job, but then if I had to, then I'll probably choose my dream job only
Okay.
because actually I've heard a lot of people who like work right now, right? In like the offices, they have 9 to 5, but they're not never working just 9 to 5. They're working more than 9 to 5,
Both the
and
right.
even they are not getting paid also overtime ka. So then okay, so okay, I have one more tiny question. If y'all were doing a job and your boss expected you to work more hours, would you say yes or no?
I mean, if it's
I'm
something,
getting paid for the
Depends.
no,
salaries.
if it's something that making me happy, like if it's genuinely making me
Hmm.
happy and I'm getting money, like Amelia said, I'll do it.
Mm. Yeah.
But
Yeah, no, see the
if it's overstepping my limits and my boundaries, I'm tired now, I cannot do this anymore, I'm gonna back out. So yeah. Ranchi, yeah, and what about you as well?
I mean,
Like,
honestly, see, the thing is that I kind of agree to Shanvi's point also, but I do agree to Amelia. So I really, okay, but first off, I don't have a dream job. My only dream is to have a lot of money and travel the world. Okay, who's dreaming of a job?
Yes.
Step
Clock
one,
it.
nobody's dreaming of the job. Anyways, but like if I had to, right? See, the thing is, key in order, like if I'm happy with like maybe the work I'm doing, but if I don't have enough money to sustain the lifestyle that I want for myself and maybe what I want to provide for my parents when I'm older and like where I want to live, the lifestyle I want to have, if I'm not able to sustain that with that amount of money, then I would definitely not be happy with the current circumstances that I'm in. So doing the work is getting me some sort of happiness, but not having the kind of money is not keeping me happy and content overall. So I would also pick like a job that's paying me more if it demand, like even if I am not fully interested or like into the job, but I would prefer doing that instead of some, because that would sustain my lifestyle, that would help me do all the things that I want to do for myself, for my parents, and like for the life that I've always dreamt of. So if I have to put like a little extra effort and just like a little bit not too much passion about the job, I'd fine, like go ahead. I'll just like put in the effort,
Exactly.
get the
Hmm.
money, because if that could make me happy, then so be it.
I mean, in my case,
Hmm.
I sadly have to agree with Amelia, but I would like, everyone expects me to say follow your passion, but then I would still choose the money because, like, I'm sorry, give me the high paying job because financial freedom gives you the choices you can make, and honestly,
Yes.
you
Hmm.
can
Guys, because
always,
here, I would
Definitely.
rather be sad in a Lamborghini than be sad in a bus. Okay, like,
okay, okay,
I'm
I can
sorry.
agree with that, but the thing is, I just want financial freedom for myself.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
not.
I
Yeah, everyone
definitely,
does.
I
I
fully
don't want a
agree to
man to come
Zafar's
and
point.
tell me. I don't want a man to come and tell me, "Oh my God, you depend on me. You are nothing without me."
Yeah.
How?
Exact. No, I know. Like, literally, like the fact is that I was literally like talking to somebody that day, and I'm like, I swear I don't care about passion right now. The only thing I want is to have financial freedom myself and is to be able to
No,
support
I
my
mean,
own
you can
lifestyle.
find passion outside work as
Hmm.
well. You can
Yeah,
both.
Yeah, you
exactly.
can work, and
Exactly.
then after work, you can do whatever you want. So,
Exactly. Because, money is like a really, really huge factor in this economy and the world that we are
it's
living in.
really
Yeah.
important. Anyone who
You don't
says
have,
money
you don't have
doesn't
money.
matter,
Yeah, has never had money. You saying that like money isn't like important and like
yeah,
the
that's
way
just
the
completely wrong. I'm sorry.
exactly
Because
like yeah the society that we are in, like you have no value if you don't have money.
how are you gonna be happy if you're in poverty?
Exactly.
Exactly.
Now, as we wrap up, and as our time has come to an end, what's your guys' final thought about this entire topic? So let's be
Well, I
start.
love yapping with you all, of course. And I think this topic was really needed, to be honest.
Shanvi?
Yeah, and I also feel like, as she said, that it was needed. Now people will have a more broader picture to what they have been believing for such a long time, that we are lazy or we're too sensitive. Now they will have a different perspective to look at us from.
So true. Amelia.
Okay, my overall thing here is yeah, Gen Z are lazy sometimes, but when we lock in, we lock in.
That
Yeah.
is for us, not for you. Yeah, but Pranchi, go on.
All right. Okay. And yeah. Agreed to like everything that everybody said. And yeah, I feel like it was such a wonderful episode. We loved talking, and like, and it was so much fun. And I feel like it is something that a lot of people have also not been like going out and like everybody knows about the stereotypes, but nobody's been going out and like outright been saying stuff. So I feel like it was wonderful to yap about something like this, and I truly loved doing it.
I mean, I think people will remember as a generation that wasn't afraid to question things. The generation that realized
Hmm.
just because something is going wrong doesn't mean it's the only way possible. And I honestly just hope that we're also remembered for like raising better people, like children who can ask questions, who care about mental health, who care about issues, who aren't afraid to speak up. I think we all have done something right for once.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
Totally.
All right. So, with that, we wrap up episode number 6. And we were so happy to have you guys with us. And it was truly a pleasure doing this, specifically with the people that we see in class every single day. And, we share the same school. So, it was lovely doing this. And thank you so much, guys. And we'll see you in the next one. Bye.
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 Bye.